Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. My name is Gentrit and today we are going to explore how to supercharge your web scraping projects by integrating scrapoxy and ProxyScrape proxies. First things first, let's get familiar with our tools. Scrapoxy is a powerful proxy waterfall designed to handle high volume of proxies and route your requests between these proxies to avoid bans, providing you with the anonymity you need for web scraping. On the other hand, Proxy Scrape offers high-quality proxies including premium, residential, data center and mobile proxies options, ensuring your web scraping tasks are seamless and efficient. By integrating scrapoxy with Proxy Scrape proxies, you can leverage several advantages. Enhanced security and anonymity, access to a wide range of proxies including residential, mobile, and data center proxies, managing all your proxies in one single tool, increased efficiency and reliability in your web scraping tasks. To set up scrapoxy, it is important to know that it functions as a Docker container, simplifying the deployment and management of the proxy manager. Now, let's go through the process using Docker. First, ensure Docker is installed on your machine. You can download it from the official Docker website and follow the installation guide. The link for this will be in the description below. Now, let's grab a list of proxies from ProxyScrape so we can let scrapoxy manage them for us. In this video, we are using data center proxies, though other type of proxies such as residential and mobile can also be utilized in scrapoxy. From ProxyScrape Premium Dashboard, first let's make sure that we have our IP authenticate. We can do so by clicking on IP authentication and then add new IP. If you click on my IP here, ProxyScrape will populate your IP in this field. Now you can give it a label here and then click save. Now, to download proxies as a TXT file, you simply click on proxy list, and when the proxy list is loaded here, you can click on download button, and then ProxyScrape will download the list of these proxies as a TXT file, and shortly we are gonna be integrating these proxies into scrapoxy itself. Next, let's set up scrapoxy. Open your terminal and execute the command provided in the video description. Topple the scrapoxy Docker image. Paste this command in your terminal and make sure to replace admin, password, secret1 and secret2 with your own specific values. After that, hit enter and Docker will begin pulling and then running the scrapoxy Docker image. Once that is completed, scrapoxy interface will be running as a localhost on port 8890. You will be prompted with a login screen, and here you are gonna use the credentials you provided during the installation part via the terminal command. Make sure to enter those credentials here and log in into scrapoxy. There you have it. Scrapoxy is now running and operational on your machine. Next, we are gonna be creating a new project and integrate proxies into this project. First, let's get familiar with the scrapoxy architecture. The scrapoxy data model is made up of projects, connectors, credentials, proxies, and tasks. In this section, we will guide you through the process of creating a project and utilizing a proxy list connector. We will also implement proxies downloaded from ProxyScrape. Next, let's create a project to explore its features. Initially, scrapoxy will bring you to this screen and ask you to create a project. Otherwise, you would simply navigate to Homepage and click Create New Project button. In scrapoxy, a project refers to a specific set of configuration and proxies that you use for a particular web scraping task. Each project allows you to define the proxies to be used, set up credentials, and configure request rate and rotation policies. The basic configuration involves several key parameters. Let's break them down. The name is the unique identifier for your project. This is how you will reference and manage this particular setting in scrapoxy. Next, we have minimum request. This setting ensures that a certain number of proxies are always online, even when the status of the project is calm, meaning no active scraping request. Let's say that we put a value here of 2, then scrapoxy will keep 2 proxies always online from the entire proxy list, and when the activity spikes or when other requests are sent to this project, the scrapoxy will put online all the remaining proxies, but the minimum value of online proxies will be the value that we put here in this field. With auto-rotate proxies, scrapoxy will rotate your IPs at specific intervals within a specific delay range. This helps preventing using all your IPs at the same time and exposing them to the anti-bot systems. Then we have auto-scale up. When this setting is enabled and whenever a request comes in, scrapoxy will switch the status of the project to hot and will sort all of your proxies. This ensures that your system can handle the increased load. Auto scale down works in reverse. When no request is received after a certain amount of time, then scrapoxy will switch the status of the project to calm and will stop all of your proxies except the amount of proxies that we set up in the minimum values, and that time can also be configured here. So let's say that after 10 minutes we do not have a single request, then scrapoxy will switch the status of the project to calm. Intercept HTTP requests with MITM is a powerful feature. When enabled, scrapoxy will be able to intercept and modify HTTPS requests and responses. This is crucial for tracking success rate by proxy. With keep the same proxy with cookie injection, scrapoxy will inject a cookie and will maintain the same proxy during a browser session. This feature is very useful when handling and managing browser sessions and mimicking real user requests. Last, we have override user agent. This allows scrapoxy to override the user agent header with a specific value for each proxy instance. All requests sent from that proxy instance will maintain the same user agent header. This ensures consistency and prevents different user agents being sent from a single IP. Next, let's see how we can integrate proxies with a feature called a connector in scrapoxy. As the name suggests, a connector acts as a bridge between your proxy provider and scrapoxy. It allows you to source proxies from your provider into scrapoxy and manage them efficiently. Scrapoxy has a number of connectors, but why did we specifically mention proxy list connector? Since scrapoxy cannot support each proxy provider, it allows you to input a list of proxies and connect them into scrapoxy using proxy list connector. Now, after you create the project, you will be brought in a screen like this, which is called a marketplace. Here, you will be able to find different types of provider. What we are going to use is proxy list connector. To find it, you simply search on the search bar or scroll down and you find a connector that looks like this, and then you hit create. Before creating a connector, we need to establish a new credential. But what is a credential and why do we use it? A credential is used to authenticate proxies from a connector. In this example, we are using proxy list connector. Since we already have our proxy list authenticated, there is no need to authenticate them in scrapoxy. However, remember that each time we create a connector, we must have a credential instance for it. In the proxy list connector, a credential serves only as a placeholder. Simply give it a name to this credential and hit create. After that, we will be prompted to complete several configurations to create the proxy list connector. Let's start by selecting the credential that we just created. Then we have the name. This is how you will reference and use this particular connector instance. Then we have number of proxies. Basically, this value sets the total number of proxies that will be available for your proxy list connector. In our case, we downloaded a list of 1000 proxies from ProxyScrape, so the value here will be 1000. Next, we have proxy timeout. Basically, this value here is the time frame that scrapoxy will consider a proxy offline. So if a proxy doesn't respond within this time frame, then scrapoxy will consider it as an offline proxy. So for this example, let's leave it to the default value. Then we have proxy kick. If a proxy doesn't respond at all within this time frame, then scrapoxy will consider it as a dead proxy and will remove it from the pool. This helps maintain a pool that contains only active proxies. Next, we have proxy timeout and proxy kick. Basically, it's the same thing as these two here, except that these two values are used if you have any free proxies on your list of proxies. In this example, we do not have any free proxies, so we are just gonna leave it as default values. After you complete this configuration, you hit create and you will see that a proxy list connector has been created. Now let's see how we can integrate the proxy list that we downloaded from ProxyScrape in this connector. Now it's time to integrate the list of proxies that we downloaded from ProxyScrape. To do so, we are gonna click on the three dots of the connector itself and then click on Update. In the Sources section, if your proxy provider gives you an URL that returns a list of proxies, then you would simply input that URL here and scrapoxy will automatically extract the proxies. Next, in the Proxies section, at this particular field, we are gonna be pasting our proxies that we downloaded from ProxyScrape. So I already copied them and then I'm gonna simply paste them here. There are around 1000 proxies in this list, and to add them into scrapoxy, you would simply click this icon here, this plus icon here. Then what will happen is scrapoxy will sort to ping each proxy instance and extract relevant information such as country about each proxy on the list. As you can see, scrapoxy is pinging all of your proxies that you inputted in the list, and you can iterate them in this field here. And you will be able to see the location of this proxy. You will also have the option to manage and to delete a proxy from this list. Now it's time to see scrapoxy in action. We are gonna do that by using a Python script. Let's do it. To see scrapoxy in action, we are gonna use a Python script that utilizes the request library to make HTTP requests through the proxies that we just set up. First, make sure that you have Python installed on your machine. After that, we will install the request library using pip command. To do that, open your terminal and type pip install request and hit enter. The request library will get installed. Now, before we take a look at the script, we want to make sure that we have authenticated scrapoxy in our script. To authenticate scrapoxy in your scripts, we are gonna use something called certificate authority, which scrapoxy provides for you. To download this certificate authority, you should go to the project setting and click on this link here. This automatically will download the certificate authority that you will use to authenticate your proxies in your script. Now let's take a look at the script. First, we are importing the request library, and then I will explain this function a bit later. Now this variable here is the path to the certificate authority that we just downloaded. I have placed it in a folder called auth, and what I did is simply copy this path and paste it here. Next, we have proxy variable, which holds an endpoint to use as a proxy in the request library. This endpoint includes a username and password, which you can get again on the project setting in the scrapoxy. So you simply copy these two values here and paste the user here and the password here. Now we have the OR variable, which sends the HTTP request. It has the usual parameters like URL, proxies on which we integrated the proxy variable, and the verify, which is the path to the certificate authority file. Next, we are using HTML parser function to simply parse the HTML response that this URL returns to us and output some insightful content like the IP and some other relevant information. Let's make a request and check and analyze the response. As you can see, the request was successful. We routed it through scrapoxy, which efficiently managed the proxy connection for us. Now you can see additional metrics that scrapoxy provides to you. If you go to the scrapoxy dashboard and click on metrics, you will be able to see different kind of reports like the number of requests, successful requests, and bandwidth usage. Now it provides even more insights in your proxies if you go to coverage, and here you will be able to see the total number of proxies and the countries that these proxies are separated on. Before we wrap up, here are some tips to optimize your web scraping performance. Rotate your proxies frequently to avoid detection. Rotating proxies is a crucial practice in web scraping to avoid detection, prevent IP blocking, mimic real user behavior, bypass rate limits, and access geo-restricted content. This is something that scrapoxy excels at. It can handle a large quantity of proxies and will rotate them for you. Monitor proxy health and replace any slow or dead proxies. This is something that scrapoxy also does for you. Suppose you have a list of 100 proxies and one is blocked from your target URL. Scrapoxy will detect the blockage and exclude that specific proxy to minimize the request failures. Use custom headers and user agents to mimic real user behavior. Using custom headers and user agents is a fundamental practice in web scraping. This approach helps avoid detection, reduces the risk of being blocked, ensures access to all content, and maintains the compatibility with the target website. Leverage rate limiting to avoid getting blocked. Many websites state in their terms of service that automated access should be limited. Following these terms by using rate limiting helps you stay within legal and ethical boundaries. And that concludes our session. Integrating scrapoxy with ProxyScrape proxies is a game changer for anyone serious about web scraping. All URLs and code mentioned in this video are available in the description. Ready to elevate your web scraping game? Try scrapoxy with ProxyScrape for your next project. Click the link below to get started. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more tech tutorials and tips. See you next time.